You
Uh,
guys, can you guys hear my voice?
so, hello?
Hello, yeah. Can you guys hear my voice?
Yes. So first, I'm Christina.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
And hello?
Okay.
So, hi.
Yes. Hi.
I'm Christina, and this is my friend, Elisa.
Okay.
So she gonna like teman I for this interview.
Uh-huh.
So, uh, can we start the interview now?
Yes.
Okay. First, we need to like introduce yourself first.
Oh, okay. My name is Muhammad Najib Abu Samah.
Uh-huh.
I'm a manager of a petrol station for 10 years. I've been running uh, 3 petrol stations so far. And the company I'm working with right now have 40 years experience running petrol stations.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Uh, so can since we like of time, I'm afraid that we're gonna take a lot of your time.
Okay, yeah, go
So
ahead.
we're going to start into the question.
Uh-huh.
Can I ask you like, can you explain about your company background? Oh, sorry. Before that, may I know your company name? Like what you
Okay.
do?
A little bit on my company background.
Yeah.
The company is basically an enterprise because in petrol station industry, we call it a petrol retail. The oil company doesn't allow us previously doesn't allow the petrol owner, the owner of the petrol station, to have a private limited company as a company that runs the petrol stations because of some legality things that make them difficult to manage all the dealers. Because in this industry alone, there are 3,000 active dealers around Malaysia. So if they have to deal with a lot of private limited companies, so there will be some sort of legal challenges that they have to face. So again, the company that I'm working with right now is called A Sama Service Station. We are currently operating 2 petrol stations, Petronas Batu Lapan Jalan Ipoh and also Petronas Dataran Kuala Kubu Baru, which is that is our new ventures starting from 2020. Previously, we are operating Petronas Kuala Kubu Baru for 20 years before we moved to Dataran Kuala Kubu Baru because of the new prospect of growth available for the site. But for Petronas Batu Lapan Jalan Ipoh, we already operating the station for 40 years, even before I am joining the company. So the
Oh,
company main business is actually operating the petrol stations, day-to-day operations, which is involving selling fuels, operating the retail store, and the normal retail things and activities.
oh, okay. So like since you mentioned like the company is like not allowed to do other thing except like doing like business about petrol, like how you manage the operational system to your daily task,
Actually,
like for the maximum achievement.
okay. For petrol stations, the operating system that we use is more on managing the managing the human resources available, which means our staffs, managing the suppliers, and also at the meantime, also managing the sales and promotion of our stores. As everyone knows, the current petrol price in Malaysia is controlled by the Malaysian government under the Price Control Act, which means we cannot simply change retail price of the petrol, the pump price, we cannot easily change based on whatever price we want. We have to base on what the government have set for us to sell. But for the items available in stores, we have the advantage to set up a certain margin for ourselves for every item that is sold in our stores, between 10 to 30%. But there are also some items that are sold at 45% margin, which is this in setting this price, there are some sort of cost management involved, which this selling price is based on the cost, the real cost that we have to incur, such as the salaries, electricity bills, utilities, and also the licensing fees. So all these costs must be kept into mind before we can set up certain prices for our products. So in that sense, in operating wise, there are some consideration that have to be done, and also it is not as we say a direct thing to be compared with other industries, for example, like manufacturing, which is when we talk about operation system, it is as simple as A to Z, which is raw materials, convert the raw materials into processed items, and then you got the end products. But this in retail is more of a supply chain, kind of things, which is when you receive the things that I mean the input that you receive is actually a process, a complete product. So what you have to do is basically to sell the item. So nothing not and no any particular conversion process involved, and thus it is quite difficult for me also to give you a very good example of how the production process itself or the production system going to be. But yet again, the best example that I could give you is the supply chain method, of which yeah, it's more of an input thing, and then it's no process item in the middle, so it's just direct to the supply and distribution.
Oh, so like how like for the next question, like sorry, have you ever like negotiate contract with the supplier? Like what is the most effective to approach to
Okay.
find a better supplier?
In terms of supply wise, basically, in retail industries, the oil company or the brand holder made the big discussion on the contracts, whether the items that is going to be sold on our stores or not, because it is determined by the head office. Yet again, the most contracts that we negotiate are basically based on the PKS, perusahaan kecil and sederhana items. For example, like
Sorry,
nasi lemak,
I
yeah.
know what is PKS.
Perusahaan kecil and sederhana.
I see.
For example, the nasi lemak, the curry puff, all the kuih raya, all the homemade buns, they are supplied by the PKS or home bakeries. So these guys basically we do negotiate contracts with them, but it's not that complex. It's just a simple open-ended contract, which is they have to ensure their
Hello?
product is hello, hello. Can you listen? Hello, 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 hello. Christina, are you there? Hello, hello. Hello. Oh, maybe there's
Christina
some
left.
problem. Yeah. So you want me to proceed?
Yeah.
Or we wait for Christina first?
Proceed.
Okay. Like I said just now, we does negotiate contracts, but in a not in a large scale. We I mean mainly with the PKS sector, and the contracts that we negotiate is basically an open-ended contract involving the quality of the products that they send us, the price, and also our margin, which at the end uh will be subjected to the selling price that we're going to sell the items, because some of these PKS, the item that they receive
No?
usually not of yes.
Sorry, I have some technical problem here. If you can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry.
Okay, so the contract that we discussed basically involving the quality of the goods, our margin, and also the selling price of the item. So about the delivery time and also restocking um or other things that is related to that is basically more to the guidelines that is provided by our headquarters, or which mean the oil company or the brand holder, such as every PKS must have their name on the product, must have their ingredients, must have their expiry dates, just to ensure quality and also competent where of these suppliers, so that in the future they can apply the same discipline to their products that they sell elsewhere. So
I have a
yeah.
question. Like, since you say about the expiring date, so what will you like you what will you will do to prevent it to, like, some stuff they probably kind of like forget or give you some excuse for their their carelessness. So how you try to
Okay.
to prevent it?
In that manner, we have trained our staff. If the product they send to us have no expiry date on their product, they will not receive the product or put the product on our shelves. So they have to call the supplier to take the product or put their expiry date, at
Ah,
least their expected expiry date. Because of why? This to ensure the quality and the freshness of the product itself. So,
okay, I
if there's any incidents of where the customer buy the product and it got bad before the expiry date, or it got bad but the expiry date not yet come, um, at least we are not legally binded to be at fault due to these quality issues. So, there are some things that we have to do to protect ourselves as a retailer, to ensure that we are not in any ways be incur any legal liabilities.
okay. So we go to the next question.
Okay.
We want to know like how like what is like your major problem in process of operation that you have faced previously, like
Problem into?
the major problem that you have faced, like how you manage it.
Okay. One of our major problems among many other problems is actually to maintain a competent human capital.
So
Because
sorry, like can
mhm.
you explain more about like the human
Okay.
capital,
I
like
mean, meaning that competent staffs, competent meaning that
yeah.
staff that will do all the SOPs, all the requirement at the same level
uh
of quality at every time. So as a
I
normal
see.
human being, we know that there are ups and downs for the human behavior. Maybe sometimes we are in a good mood, sometimes we are not. Sometimes bad things happen to us, sometimes happy things happen to us. So the challenges that comes with this job, basically in retail, is basically how to maintain a high level of competency of customer service, and also skills in whatever emotional roller coaster that we are in. For example, you just got into a quarrel with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then you come into work, and then
Okay.
you are a cashier on the day. So what happened is you still have to greet your customer. Selamat datang, terima kasih datang lagi. But at the end of the day, some people just doesn't have the ability to exclude their feelings from their responsibilities. So these are the type of competency that I'm talking about. It's not that I'm denying human rights to be sad or happy, because we are human
Yeah.
beings. We are affected by feelings. But yet again, as uh, someone involving in retail, working in retail, we have to admit that we talk to our customers every day, and we must communicate with them. And if we have any negative vibes, we're going to be passing the negative vibes to our customers. And like I always told my staff, I always say that whatever um, negative things that happen to you today, you have to leave it outside the door of the store. You cannot bring it in. If you cannot leave it in, you leave it out, you have to do other things. So you have to tell your friend to replace you for that day. So you have to do other things. But at the same time, as I told you, working in retail, especially in petrol stations, we does not 100% only do the greetings or customer service, but we also have to deal with HSE, which is the health safety environment protocol, on ourselves, which is if we breach the HSE, for example, right now, the COVID protocol still applied to us. So there are some sort of some protocols that still have to be followed. So if any breach happens, and if any incident happen to us without the protocol being met, the labor office will be placed the employer to be guilty, because not implementing
Oh.
the SOP, because the SOP is the responsibility of the employer or the company itself. So enforcing it is the responsibility of the employee, of which if they fail to enforce, there will be summon or penalty for the employer and the company itself.
Wow.
So
I
so
so
um so regular training is mandatory for us. If
okay.
I fail to do a monthly training or refresher course, I will always make sure every quarter there's a training involving the HSC, the customer service, because it is better for them, even though they most of them have experience. Sorry, most of them have experience relating to, because they have been working with me for quite a while. But refresher courses are a good thing to do to make sure they are always on their edge. Besides that, you must also give them a proper KPI, key performance index, for them to gauge their performance themselves. Because at the end of the day, if you want to give them a KPI that is too high, it is a counterproductive things to do, because at the end of the day, if they found out that the KPI cannot be achieved, they will be resilient to the to any thing that you trying to do to correct all the problems that are going on.
Uh, so uh, like, sure. And for the next question, can I know how, like, yeah, wait, sorry. Uh,
No.
like, can I ask you, do you familiar with the cost analysis in your way of?
Uh, I do know some cost analysis, and
Okay.
I did some cost analysis, especially in determining the selling price in the retail store, and also in terms of hiring my staff, and also on managing the working capital of the company.
Ah, I see. Um, can you explain a bit more about how you do it
Okay.
to?
Basically, what I've implement is a very simple cost analysis, which involve first you have to recognize all the costs involved in your daily operations. For example, your your buying, your procurement price, which means the cost price of you purchasing your stocks, um, your salary, your overtime, uh, working hours, your how many people that you need per I mean for example for a certain period of time. Uh,
Ah, I
so
see.
because because there are some SOPs that you have to follow. For example, you had to have certain amount of people at certain time, and so uh, I have to make sure that I could have enough amount of people at that particular time to ensure the level of service at that time will not drop. That is where I have
Ah,
to consider how much money they have to put on OT if anyone is on leave or on MCs, who can do overtime, who cannot do overtime, how many people I want to put on public holidays, and also and that's only on there's cost analysis only on human resource management. Uh,
okay. Uh, Sorry for interrupting the
uh-huh.
then we got another 10 minutes. Can we continue after we do a new meeting?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Okay.